On the morning of February 27, 2018, Patrick De La Cerda was home waiting for a delivery. He had ordered a custom engagement ring for his fiancée Jessica. He had no reason to think that morning would be anything other than ordinary. When someone knocked on his front door, he opened it. He was shot 4 times. He was 25 years old, and the person who sent the killer to his door was a man Jessica had left almost a year earlier. A man she had left because of something she discovered in a hospital room in 2016. This is that story. This is a documented true story. Gregory Bender is currently serving life in prison without parole. Jessica Devnani met Gregory Bender online in 2009. He was 42 years old, a hedge fund manager living in a large 5-bedroom home in Windermere, Florida, outside Orlando. She was 21 years his junior. He had a very charismatic personality. He was very intelligent. It felt like we'd known each other all our lives. He became my best friend.
That's how she described him.
For most of their 8 years together, she had every reason to believe that. But there were signs she noticed even early on: a possessiveness, a jealousy that could escalate quickly. She described it like this:
I never feared what he could do to me, but I feared what he could do to other men.
She stayed anyway. He proposed. She said yes. She was building her future with this man. She had no reason to question any of it, not until 2016. Gregory went in for a medical procedure. Jessica decided to surprise him at the hospital while he was recovering. She walked into his room in the ICU. There was already a woman sitting beside his bed. Jessica introduced herself, said she was his fiancée, showed her the ring. The woman looked at her, showed her own ring.
I'm his wife.
Her name was Mara Sanchez, and she was not an ex-wife, not a previous relationship. She was Gregory Bender's current legal wife, married to him the entire time he had been engaged to Jessica.
My heart just dropped. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
When Bender finally called Jessica days later to explain, he told her it was a marriage of convenience, just to help Mara's son attend a better school district. He said he was sorry. He said he loved her. He asked her to stay. And for a while, she gave him a chance. She gave him an ultimatum: divorce Mara, or lose her. For months he stalled, found excuses, delayed. Finally, in 2017, Jessica ended the relationship. She was done. What she didn't know was that Gregory Bender was not done with her. A month after leaving Bender, Jessica met Patrick De La Cerda on a dating app. He was 25 years old, kind, gentle, everything Bender was not.
I was afraid that he would find out about our relationship, Jessica said later.
She was right to be afraid. Bender found them on Facebook, and that's when the messages started. Direct messages to Patrick, threatening voicemails to Jessica. In one recording that would later be played in court.
I'm giving instructions, and I'm going to have my plan put into action.
Jessica went to court and obtained a restraining order. A judge ruled in her favor. Bender was legally required to stay away, to relinquish all his firearms. For a while it seemed to work. The messages stopped. Months went by without contact. Patrick proposed to Jessica at the end of 2017.
She said yes.
He ordered a custom engagement ring. Things were finally moving forward. On the morning of February 27, 2018, Jessica received 2 phone calls from Gregory Bender. She hadn't heard from him in months. She didn't answer either call, but something felt wrong immediately. She drove to Patrick's house. When she arrived, Patrick De La Cerda was dead on the ground outside his front door. He had been shot 4 times. He had been waiting for his front door delivery. The engagement ring he had ordered for Jessica, the ring that was supposed to arrive that morning, was still in transit. It never reached him.
My whole future was taken away. My whole world was taken away.
That's what Jessica told investigators. She told them she believed Gregory Bender had killed Patrick. Detective Chad Weaver of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office now had a suspect. What he didn't yet have was evidence. The break in the case came from someone nobody expected. Daymara Sanchez, Bender's wife, had seen the news reports about Patrick's murder, and something she had found months earlier in their home suddenly made terrible sense. She contacted investigators through her attorney, refusing to meet at the sheriff's office. They met in a secluded parking lot. She was very, very nervous. Daymara told Detective Weaver that in late 2017, around the time she and Bender were separating, she had found a spiral notebook Bender had been writing in. Inside were notes that looked like a detailed plan to kill someone. Maps, addresses, entry and exit routes. She had confronted Bender about it. He told her it was just a fantasy, that he would never actually do anything like that. She had believed him. 2 months later, Patrick De La Cerda was dead. Armed with Daymara's information, Detective Weaver executed a search warrant on Bender's home in Windermere. Almost immediately after entering Bender's home office, Weaver spotted something in the trash can. Crumpled pieces of notebook paper.
I was in shock. There's no way that we just found this murder plan.
Found in the trash, Bender's home office, Windermere, Florida. The notes were a detailed, premeditated murder plan. Patrick De La Cerda's address, sketches of his property, notes on how to enter and exit without being detected. Written instructions that read in part, dispose of clothes, plate, tracker, and gloves. They also found ammunition and shell casings in the house. The casings matched those found at the crime scene. Gregory Bender was arrested for the murder of Patrick De La Cerda. Three years after Patrick's death, Gregory Bender went to trial, and in that courtroom, two women sat on opposite sides of the same room, Jessica Devnani and Daymara Sanchez. The two women who had stood on opposite sides of a hospital bed 5 years earlier, now both there to testify against the same man. Throughout the trial, Bender sat completely expressionless, until Daymara took the stand. That's when he broke down, showing emotion for the first time.
Detective Weaver, was it a plan to kill someone? Daymara Sanchez, it was a plan to kill the guy. Detective Weaver, the guy is Patrick? Daymara Sanchez, yes.
The defense argued that the notebook was just a fantasy, that people shouldn't be judged for their worst thoughts just because they wrote them down. The jury took 2 hours to decide. Gregory Bender was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
We finally did it, Jessica said. We got the guilty verdict.
Patrick De La Cerda was 25 years old. He was waiting for an engagement ring to arrive at his front door. He opened the door for someone he thought was a delivery driver. He never knew what was coming. Gregory Bender spent 8 years presenting himself as someone completely safe, someone charming, someone who became Jessica's best friend. And simultaneously, he was married to another woman, hiding it completely and carrying a jealousy inside him that eventually became something that killed a person. The warning signs were there. Jessica noticed them.
I never feared what he could do to me, but I feared what he could do to other men.
She noticed. And she still couldn't have predicted where it ended. That's the thing about people like this. The version of them you're allowed to see is so carefully constructed, so genuinely warm, that by the time you understand what's underneath, it's already too late. Gregory Bender is currently serving life in prison in Florida with no possibility of parole. Patrick De La Cerda's engagement ring was delivered after he died. This is a documented true story. The mask always slips. It's just a matter of time. I'm behind the mask. See you in the next one.